Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Weekend Eve. This is Any Given Sunday on KUAW. I am Brian Kress, the Awesome Voice. My brother with another mother, Coach 24, Darwin Penny, is out scouting again. Obviously, he's making that team, the Royals team, much, much, much better because they are playing some great baseball right now. And behind the scenes, running the show, and checking out the screen that my screen is not working because I can't see myself. But anyway, running the show is DJ Scatter, George Walker. Mr. Walker, how are you doing this evening?
Well, other than a slight technical difficulty, I'm doing just fine.
Hey, we're not 610 or 810 or ESPN or anything like that. So we get more glitches than they do. And usually when they get them, they can fix them pretty quickly. So, but I appreciate you guys sticking with us and hanging out with us tonight. But this still is the best sports show around. And we will talk about the Royals later. But we had some guests that were supposed to come on to the show tonight. We had Lee Penix was supposed to come on, who is now a coach for the Kansas City Panthers. He had played for the Panthers for a long time, and he is in the Semi-Pro Hall of Fame. But he had some technical difficulties that did not allow him to make it out here tonight. So we're going to try to get him on in a few weeks. And then we had Marvin Durant, my former producer of Urban Talk 100, and he was going to come on the show. We were going to talk some sports, and then he had an emergency, and he was unable to make it too. So I had all planned up. I had it all organized, and then they ditched me. So, but I am running the show now, so we will go into it. And last week, I was announcing a football game for the Midwest Titans as they were playing the Tulsa Gators. Midwest Titans were the fourth-ranked team in the Central Midwest Football League, and the Tulsa Gators were the fifth-ranked team in the Midwest Football or the Central Midwest Football League, and it was a great game, but the Titans ended up losing 21-18, and they had a lot of opportunities and just did not take full advantage of it. They ended up for the second straight week they had given up a touchdown on either the first or second possession of the game, and this time it was the first possession of the game, and they went down the field, the Gators did, and they got to the 1 yard line. The Titans held them, and then on their first offensive play they had a safety. They got tackled in the end zone, so they were already down 2-0. Tulsa got the ball, scored a touchdown, and just like that, it was 8-0 because I believe, they missed the extra point. They had the extra point blocked, but it was still a whale of a game. It went back and forth. They were down 8, and then they scored 2 touchdowns, which gave them the 12-8 lead at halftime. And then the Gators outscored them 13-10. Or no, I'm sorry, 13-6 in the second half. And with that, the Titans accrued their first loss. So with that, it dropped the Titans to 2-1, and they are now tied for second place with the Tulsa Gators, which even though their differential is plus 27, they lose the tiebreaker to the Gators because of the fact that they lost to the Gators. And in first place, and this is in the Great Plains Conference. So in first place is the Oklahoma Bears. And right now they are the number one team in the league. And they out of the 7 votes that were given, the Oklahoma Bears got 6. Second place is Joplin Crusaders. They're the second ranked. Third ranked is the Missouri Cyclones, who had 1 first place vote. And then fourth place, or ranked fourth, is the Tulsa Gators. Fifth, the Wichita Skyhawks. Sixth, the East Central Missouri Eagles. And seventh place, Midwest Titans dropped from 4th to 7th. 8th is the Columbia Vipers. 9 is the Arkansas Warcats. And 10 is the Central Illinois Cougars. So, and last week's games, the Northwest Arkansas Generals got shut out by the number 1 team, Oklahoma Bears. And then the Tulsa Gators beat Midwest Titans 21-18. And then East Central Missouri Eagles defeated the St. Louis Falcons 22-14. And then Columbia Vipers punished the Springfield Punishers 44-6. And then the Missouri Cyclones edged the Central Illinois Cougars 20-12. And then Joplin Crusaders defeated the Kansas Diamondbacks 49-0 in a game that was called at halftime for obvious reasons. If you're up 49-0 at halftime, it's not going to be a fun day. And then the Kansas City Panthers went to Wichita to play the Skyhawks, and the Skyhawks defeated the Panthers 44-6. And then we had the St. Joseph Swarm ended up winning 13-0 over First City Cavalry, which is a forfeit. And in the forfeit, that's the winning score is 13-0. So anyway, so we've got in the Great Plains Conference, you have in first place you have the Oklahoma Bears 4-0. They have scored 95 points, given up 35 points, and have a differential of plus 32. Second place is the Tulsa Gators, 3-1. They have scored 74 points, given up 34 points, and have a differential of plus 21. Midwest Titans, also in second place, or tied for second. They are 3-1 also. They've scored 86 points, given up 37 points for a differential of plus 27. And then you have the Joplin Crusaders, who are 2-1. They have scored 111 points and given up 50 points for a difference of plus 22. Then you have the Wichita Skyhawks that are 2-1. They have scored 81 points, given up only 16 points, and have a differential of plus 19. Then you have the St. Joseph Swarm, who, after their first victory, is now 1-3. They have scored 39 points, given up 99 points for the differential of minus 15. And then you have the Kansas Diamondbacks, who are 0-3. They have scored 16 points, given up 103 points with a differential of minus 30. And then you go to the Gateway Conference, and you've got the Missouri Cyclones, who are in first place with a 4-0 record. They have scored 102 points, given up 26 points for a differential of plus 39. And then in second place, you have the East Central Missouri Eagles at 3-0. They have scored 68 points, given up 28 points for a differential of plus 31. Then you've got the Columbia Vipers are in third place with a 3-1 record, scored 102 points, given up 20 points for a differential of plus 34. Then in fourth place, you've got the Central Illinois Cougars. They are 2-2. They have scored 79 points, given up 40 points for a differential of plus 4. And then in fifth place, you've got the Arkansas Warcats. Now the Cougars are 2-2. The Arkansas Warcats are 2-1. So technically, the Warcats should be in fourth place, but they are tied with the Cougars for the same amount of wins. But the Warcats have scored 56 points, given up 36 points for a differential of plus 15. Then you have in sixth place the St. Louis Falcons. They are 1-3. They have scored 57 points. They have given up 78 points for a differential of minus 5. Then you have the Kansas City Panthers. They are 1-3. They have scored 26 points. They have given up 128 points for a differential of minus 37. And then in eighth place, you've got the Springfield Punishers, who are 0-3. They have scored 22 points, given up 119 points for a differential of 39 points. And yes, I am finally on. I can see myself. Yes, that is awesome. And then in ninth place, you have the Northwest Arkansas Generals, who are 0-4. They've scored 6 points, given up 107 points for a differential of minus 49. Now, saying this is Memorial Day weekend, and there will be no games played. So coming into next Thursday's show, the schedule will be the same. Everybody's record will be the same. But the Midwest Titans have a game to be announced later. Now, I don't know if they are going to have a game. If not, then it will just stay as a no game. And I believe what they were supposed to play was First City Cavalry, the team that dropped out of the league. Now, the Panthers, who have lost to the Wichita Skyhawks and the Missouri Cyclones, get better news. They now play the number one team in the league with the Oklahoma Bears, but they at least play them at home, and I will be announcing that game, so I will be there to see that. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So with that, they will have the weekend off to celebrate with family, Memorial Day weekend, and everything else like that. So we've got the Central Missouri Football League, or Central Midwest Football League, taken care of. Now let's go to something more fun, which is the Kansas City Royals. And right now, I am just telling you, they are just totally just killing it right now. We have the Royals right now. Let's see, they have a 32-19 record because they did win yesterday. They have won 6 games in a row. They won 3 games with the Oakland A's. They won 3 games with the Detroit Tigers, and they are 19-5 against so-called weaker opponent teams. Now you're saying, well, of course they've got this great record. They're playing nobody, but the thing of it is that you are taking care of business. It's like the Chiefs. If they're playing the Carolina Panthers, which they will play this year, they should be able to take care of them. You beat the teams that are considered not as good or not as strong as you, and you should take care of them and get rid of them. And that's what they have done. Right now, the ERA, I believe the starting pitching for the Royals, ERA, is in the top 3 in baseball right now. So, and I am waiting for. I know, I heard that. It sounded like a car starting up. I'm waiting for Mr. Walker to get organized there. And yes, I am on the big screen now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
It's nothing to fix all these little troubles and stuff. That's why I
uh,
get paid the big bucks.
there you go. Well, I know I get paid a lot more, and I just sit here and look pretty. So
And I was going to talk to your boss, see if we can get you some more money. But
that, you know what? I definitely love that idea. Thank you for considering that. So hey, we do have the greatest. Do have the best sports show around.
the best in Kansas City, and that is it.
That is absolutely correct. So with that, we are going to talk about Friday night. So before we get into how the Royals were doing, Friday night was the return of the 2014 team that made it to the playoffs, or they were the first team to make it to the playoffs for the Royals in 29 years. So the last time that the Royals had made the playoffs, I was before that I was 19 years old. So so with that I was 48. Yeah, 48 years old when the 2014 team was there. And so they had bobbleheads and they had T-shirts and they have hats, which I'm wearing my hat now. And as you can see me in the picture as Mr. Walker took a picture of me and posted it on Facebook. And I just put it on my Facebook, the picture of DJ Scatter, Mr. Walker, from us last Thursday after our show, and then a picture with him and his beautiful wife Mildred and myself at the Royals game. So as you can see pictures there. There's Mr. Walker in his fancy hat. So that
we got to do it in style.
Yeah, you got to do it in style, definitely. So, and I took my daughter and my son-in-law and my little booklet. Yes, it's my granddaughter, but she's my little booklet, and we all had a great time, and it was awesome. And the Royals kicked butt, and celebrating the 2014 team was just amazing. So we ended up getting bobbleheads. So we got the Herrera bobblehead. Saturday, the Wade Davis bobblehead was there, and then Sunday was the Greg Holland for ADH, which I still say is the best bullpen of all time, because when you got to if you could beat the Royals, you had to beat them with the first 6 innings. If you were down going into the 7th inning, you might as well just chalk up a loss, because it was literally automatic, and that's how good they were. Now, obviously, they did have a few blips, but they were awesome. They were just in, and they just blew it right past you, and so it was amazing how they made it to the World Series, and actually the playoff. They were showing highlights of the playoffs and stuff, and the one with the Oakland A's where Salvi hits the ball down the left field line, and I'm telling you what, that was just electric. It still gave me goosebumps listening to it and watching it on the big screen for the guy, and the guys were sitting there all watching it and everything. And here's the thing, Salvador Perez is the only player that is still playing from that 2014 season. Is that amazing or what? Because you had young players, and I would have figured, like Hosmer would still be playing and Moustakas would still be playing. Now, there were some that were already in their 30s, 30s, mid-30s. Of course, they wasn't going to be there. But, Yordano Ventura, who unfortunately – he passed away a couple of years later after that in 2017, and it still hits me really hard. But
yeah, that's one thing this team could use though, is the speed it had then.
Oh yeah.
Now we don't have the base speed that we had. I mean, we've got some good hitting going on now, but boy, if we had that speed on the bases, I think would. What they say, that's what speed would do.
Right, and that was the thing. And, Raul Ibanez, who was there. He had came in like 3 weeks prior to the Royals, and they were like 49 and 50, and he had a players only meeting, and he told them how phenomenal this team was if you can just put it together. He said there are teams that do not look forward to playing you because you guys play so well together. You guys are so fundamentally sound. Now, they weren't, you will never mistake them for like the 27 Yankees that had individuals who could just hit the snot out of the ball and have high averages. That 2014 2015 team, they played as a team, and it was amazing. They, because you had Mike Trout playing for the it's California Angels, the L.A. Angels, whatever it was, Angels from the West Coast Angels. There we go. That's what I'll call them. But you had Mike Trout, who was considered one of the best players in baseball, and they swept them. They beat the A's in the one game, and then they swept the Angels, and then they swept the Orioles, who had Mario or what? I'm trying to think of Machado, who's still playing for the Padres, but he was the player for the Baltimore Orioles, and they swept them. They didn't lose their first game until the first game of the World Series. And yes, I did go to that first game of the World Series. So do not blame me. I did not cause them to lose, but at the same time, I was bummed that that they did lose. But I still thank my son every day, for getting those tickets, and him and I having memories. And so there are fathers and sons and daughters and mothers, families and friends that all went out to that game, because the Royals had been perennial winners all the way up to 1985, and then after 1985 they stopped winning. They had a few winning seasons. I still remember that they, I want to say 1989 or 1990, they won 90 games and did not make the playoffs because the Oakland A's had won 95 and made it to the playoffs. And at that time, there was only four teams that made the playoffs. The team from the Western Division, the Eastern Division in both the American and National Leagues. So as you say, the junior circuit, the American League, and the senior circuit, the National League. So now there are a lot more teams that are playing. I believe you got 6 teams now, 6 or 7 teams in each division that plays. And that is pretty good. They used to say, no, you want less. But it has really given teams hope and opportunity. The Royals right now are thinking that they can make the playoffs. So getting into the Royals of today, they are 32-19. They're 31-19 is the tied for the best record all time in Royals history, and that was the 1977 Kansas City Royals, led by Whitey Herzog, George Brett, Amos Otis, Paul Splittorff, Dennis Leonard, Steve Busby. I mean, I could keep naming Al Fitzmaurice, all those great players, and they won 102 games that year, which is still a Royals record. So the Royals right now, last year they had won 56 games and lost a team record 106 games. And now they are 25 games, 25 wins. Let's rephrase that. 25 wins away from being from equaling last year's total, and they can do that next month. They still have the rest of this month because they are off today and they're going to Tampa Bay, and I cannot remember who they were going to play next. But next Friday they are going to play the San Diego Padres, which the San Diego Padres are my second favorite baseball team, and I will try to find tickets for Friday night and Sunday, because obviously next Saturday I'll be announcing a football game. So I will miss that, unfortunately, because I really wanted to go to that too. But I'm definitely going to try to go to the Friday and Sunday games. So we are at halftime on any given Sunday on KUAW. DJ Scatter, George Walker.
Hanging in there.
Yep, hanging in there. Coach 24, Darwin Penny, and myself, the awesome voice Brian Kress. We are going to take a break, and then when we get back, we will continue talking Royals, and then we're going to talk a little football, and we've got a few other sports to go with. So we're going to take a break, and we will be right back on KUAW. All right, we are back with Any Given Sunday on KUAW. Coach 24, Darwin Penny, who is out still scouting. And, you know, maybe we should just keep him out as well as they're playing. But I do miss him, and I need him to come back on the show so we can have a great even a better show than what we have. But he's still doing his job. He's still getting great players for the Royals, and I'm still giving him full credit for the transformation from last year to this year. And then DJ Scatter, George Walker, the producer and the man running the show, and I am Brian Kress, the awesome voice. So the Royals, they will play 3 games in Tampa starting tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then next Monday they will have a 4-game series with the Minnesota Twins. So they will play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I believe on Thursday when we come on to the show that we will find out if the Royals had won that day too and see how they were going. Now, we were talking that the Royals are 32-19. There are only 4 teams in baseball right now that have a better record than the Kansas City Royals, and that is the Philadelphia Phillies, who have won 29, who has gone 29-6 their last 35 games. So they were struggling. Let's see. So they were like 6-8 when they started this streak, and then they went 29-6. I mean, they are probably the hottest team in baseball. And then you have the Dodgers in the National League that have won 33 games. They're 33-18. They would be considered 1 game better than the Royals. Then you've got the New York Yankees that are 33-17, and they're only 1 game, or actually a game and a half ahead of the Royals, and the Cleveland Guardians that are in our division, and they are playing some great baseball too. They had to, because the Royals have won 6 in a row, and they have won like 14 of the last 21 games. I mean, the Royals are just as hot as anybody in baseball, and we can't even catch up with the Guardians right now. We're still a game and a half behind. But saying that, we are 6.5 games ahead of Minnesota, who have a 26-23 record. So they are playing above 500 baseball. And then Tampa Bay, who they're playing, is, I believe, 1 game under 500. I think they're 25-26. I believe they lost yesterday to Boston, but I could not remember that for sure. And then they will go to Minnesota. So they're going to play 2 pretty decent teams on the road. And then they will come back to play the Padres. And the Padres right now have the best, or the second best record in baseball. They are 17-9. Is it 17? Yeah, 17-9 on the road this year, which is second best in baseball. And so they will be coming to Kansas City and to play the Royals. And so Friday night is the big stick game with Jason Sudeikis. I got his name, Paul Rudd. I can't even think of their names right now. Oh my God, Stone Street. My gosh, I just drew a complete blank. I can tell you. I can tell you on the Royals right now. I can't tell you the actors and stuff. But anyway, there will be a bunch of actors, and I guarantee you, I'm going to guarantee you that Patrick Mahomes will be out there, and Travis Kelce will probably be out there, unless Taylor is on the road somewhere performing right now, and he'll be hanging out with her. But there will be a lot of people out there, and I believe it's at 5:30 on Friday night, and the Royals game will be at 7:10. Now, they have been playing a lot of games at 6:10, and the reason why they did that was for the fact that you can get the kids out earlier, so they didn't go to bed late. You can bring them out and let them enjoy the game. And so at 7:10 will be Friday night's game. And like I said, Saturday I will not be there, but I'm hoping to make the Sunday game too. So I am definitely looking for tickets. If anybody likes me out there, hi, give me some tickets. Give me some tickets. So anyway, I may just have to buy them. I just may have to suck it up and just say, okay, I'll buy them. But I definitely want to be out there and see that. Now, saying that,
I couldn't find the lineup. I was looking for the lineup online, and I'm not getting that at all.
The lineup for the Padres?
No, for Big Slick.
Oh, yeah. I know I saw it a little bit on Facebook. So you could probably look there, but I don't know who's all going to be there. They're probably just going to surprise everybody and everything else. So, but we've got some stats here now.
Weird Al Yankovic is going to be there.
Ooh, there you go.
Cat McNamara, Lou Trilingo. I don't know who that is.
Who is?
Lou Trujillo. That's got me. Peter Skager.
Oh, Peter Sager?
Yeah,
he's
sports
on,
commentator.
Yeah, he's on Good Morning Football on NFL Network.
Well, he'll be here for the Big Slick.
Well, right. He's a big Chiefs fan, so of course
and
they're going
Jonathan Fernandez.
Ooh, Jonathan Fernandez. Okay, so we're going to have a bunch of people.
Heidi Garshner, David.
Heidi
Kushner.
Gardner.
Yeah.
She is on SNL.
Okay.
But she is a local, too. She's a local Kansas Cityan.
Paul Rudd, you already mentioned. Rob Riggle.
Rob Riggle, there he is. David.
Stone Street?
No,
David.
No, it's
Kushner.
David Kushner, and I can't think of his first name. Stone Street. Stone Street's on there.
Okay.
Please look that up, because it's going to drive me absolutely nuts for the rest of the evening if I don't.
Yeah, and it's his event. I don't know why they didn't throw him right up front with the name.
Well, him, Jason, Paul, and David are the main four. And Rob, so the main five that does this big stick game. Yeah. But definitely, people, you need to come out, because I'm telling you.
It's Eric Stone Street, isn't it?
Is it who?
Eric.
Yeah, there we go. There you go. Thank you.
All right. That's what we're here for.
Right. That's right. That's what my producer does for me. He gets me all that info. Hey, you got to.
It might be late, but we do try.
We do. Hey, look, I'm telling you, when I do my football games, I do not have anybody in my ear telling me what number made the tackle or who number was running the ball or threw the ball or who they threw it. I have to do all that by myself.
You don't have a statistician?
No,
I don't. A historian?
No, I don't have a historian, a statistician, a science teacher. I don't have I don't have any of them. I do have somebody that will run the clock. So thank goodness, because I have actually did that where I have announced the game. I have broadcast the game. PA announced the game and did the clock all at the same time, and it was a championship football game.
You was busy as a one-knowing paper hanger.
I'm telling you what, I told them, I said, man, you guys better well pay me, because I'm kicking hind quarter for you guys.
Yep.
You know, I don't see Mitch Holtis doing this, and I'm gonna have to talk with him.
Yeah.
So when I see him back at High V doing his shows again, I'm gonna have a talk with him. I'm gonna tell him, I'm like, where do you get your signal guys and everything? Because when I announce football, I do it by myself. So, but obviously he makes a little bit more money.
Yeah,
I think he makes more than the $150,000 that I make. So.
Why? Sure.
I'm telling. Well, that's why you're pitching in to get me a raise.
We're gonna get to that.
Yes, absolutely.
Got to call into the boss now.
There you go. See, he's taking care of business while I'm sitting here talking to you guys. So anyway, here's the key to the Royals' success. Last year, the pitching was just atrocious. It was one of the worst, and the bullpen was even. I mean, the starting pitching was phenomenal compared to the bullpen. It was that bad. And this year, our starting pitching ERA is in the top 3 in Major League Baseball. in the top 3. So, and Seth Lugo is leading it this year. He is 4th in baseball. So these stats are, it's not just American League, because I believe he does lead the American League in ERA with 1.79, but he has actually 3 guys ahead of him. So, and it's just amazing. And so Brady Singer is 19th with 2.70, and that's just in the top 25. So if I continue on going down, you got Cole Reagans, who we got in an awesome trade for oh my gosh. So we got the trade with Texas. So we had our reliever Chapman, Aroldis Chapman. So see, I remembered. I know I'm getting old. My mind is going blank on me. But anyway, we get Cole Reagans from Texas for Aroldis Chapman. Texas wins a World Series, and we get a phenomenal pitcher who is 37th right now in the top 50 with a 3.34 ERA. So, I mean, it's just amazing how that is going. I mean, we couldn't have even talked about that if we had somebody that was in the top 100. We would have totally have been shocked. And here's the other thing. So now I have wins, and so Seth Lugo is 2nd in baseball, tied with Chris Sale, with 7 wins, and they are behind Ranger Suarez, who I believe is with the Phillies, and he has 9 wins. So, I mean, this is awesome. And then you've got Alec Marsh, you've got Cole Reagans. They have 4 wins. So last year we could only dream about having, players perform this well. And here's the great thing. I checked the top 50 and who had the most losses, and there is no Royal on there. So that's even better. Now in games, that's more of the relief role. But we have Cole Reagans that is tied for first with 11 starts, and then you have and I'm looking because I saw it earlier. Oh, you have Seth Lugo, who is tied for 8th with like 900 other pitchers at 10, which is in the top 50. But you've got 2 guys that have had already 11 and 10 starts, and that is good because what happened is that they are finishing games and they're staying in, and all of them have pitched. All 5 of the pitchers, which is Seth Lugo, Waka, Marsh, Brady Singer, and I think we have a 5th pitcher offhand, and I cannot remember, but those top 4 guys have at least pitched 43 innings or more. So they have pitched at least 1 game, 1 inning per the team's games. Cole Reagans has a complete game. I mean, it's oh, what is that? Nick Anderson. They had Nick Anderson at 0, but that should not have mattered. Oh, there we go. Shutouts. Do we have any shutouts? Nope, no shutouts.
Almost had one.
Yes. Oh, that was the. There we go.
Yes.
We were talking. Yeah, we were talking about the downside. The only downside of that Friday night game was the fact that they gave up a 2-run homer with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. that kept them from having a shutout.
Shutout.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
we were right there.
Yes, we were not happy with that, but that was. But if that's the worst thing we can have, I will take it every day of
For
the week
sure.
and twice on Sunday. So, and then you've got the hitting part. You've got Salvador Perez, 34 years old, playing catcher, in a position where catchers can grow old really quick.
Oh yeah.
And he is just getting better and better. I mean, there's 6 players that are hitting better on base percentage plus the OPS is on base percentage plus slugging. You've got Kyle excuse me. You got Kyle Tucker, you got Shohei Ohtani, you've got Marcell Ozuna, you have Aaron Judge, Juan Soto. I mean, you hear all these big names and Mookie Betts, and then you get Salvador Perez. And then you go down to 14th and you get Bobby Witt Jr. He's hitting .916.
Yeah, he's putting some wood on the ball.
Right. And then he crushed that home run yesterday, which they said it was comparable to Bo Jackson in 1987. And you remember that home run because I remember it when Bo Jackson hit it up the fake grass, what they had at that time.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, he just slaughtered it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And this is just totally awesome. And then you've got, now those are the only 2 guys there. But now here's this. You have batting average. Salvador Perez is leading the American League. Now Shohei Ohtani is leading baseball. And then Luis Arraez for the Padres is second. And I believe Lamonte Wade Jr., who is with the Pirates. So Ohtani's batting .348. You got Arraez that's batting .341. You've got Wade that's batting .339. And then you got Salvi that's tied with Jurickson Profar, who is also with the Padres, batting .337. So
yeah, that's good.
You're right. And then you go down, and 15th, the 15th best hitter in baseball in average is Bobby Witt Jr., .308. So then you go down, and I'm going to push the 25, the next 25. So you keep going. You got Bryce Harper at .281. You got Aaron Judge at .276. And looky here at the 46th spot, batting .266, who at the beginning of the month was batting under 200. You got Miguel Garcia, who is batting .266. So that is totally just amazing and awesome, and I'm loving it. So the home runs, not a lot of people are on our team are hitting a lot of home runs, but we have the RBIs. And so, and I believe we are first or second in run differential. And I'm not sure what we have. I think we're like plus 60, 65 right now. And that is just unheard of. I mean, you hear the Yankees get this. You hear the Padres get this. You hear Atlanta and the Angels and Houston, and they have all those numbers. But the Royals are having it. Vinny Pasquantino is 25th with 31 RBIs. Miguel Garcia, the leadoff guy, is got 32 RBIs. You've got Bobby Witt Jr. that has 33 RBIs. So Miguel is driving in runs, and then you still have Bobby Witt Jr. driving in runs behind that. So Bobby Witt is 17th, Miguel is 19th, and then you've got Salvador Perez that is 6th with 39 RBIs. And the leader right now is Ozuna from Atlanta with 47. So he is only 8 behind the leaders. And I think Juan Soto, no, Jose Ramirez, um, and Juan Soto, I believe, are the only two players in the American League that are ahead of Salvador Perez. Then you've got runs. Who is no, just take a wild guess, Mr. Walker, who's number one?
In runs.
Yeah, in runs scored.
Team wise you're talking about? Or,
No,
or
player.
batting?
Player.
Oh, who's coming across the bat? Well, I guess
Who's number one?
Salvador.
No, the other one.
Bobby Witt.
Yes, Bobby Witt Jr. is number one with 46. He is 5 more than Mookie Betts and William Contreras, and Shohei Ohtani is 6 or 7 behind him with 39. So you got all these guys scoring runs. And Maikel Garcia again, who was batting under 200 under the Mendoza line, which made Bob Uecker very, very famous. He has 30 runs scored, and that's all. But still, you've got guys that are coming in. They are scoring runs. They're driving in runs, and I'm telling you what, this team is so exciting. I love this team. If you guys have not gone out there, you need to go. And I know that things are expensive. If you can go to a Chiefs game, you can definitely go to a Royals game. And the games are a little bit faster, and it's more exciting, and the pitching is great. Yes, sometimes the bullpen will make you nervous a little bit and get them frustrated, but it is so awesome. You need to get out there. I am pimping you guys. Go out there, because like I said, I'm going to go back out there and go hit a few more games, and I just love watching the Royals play, and this is what we're wanting now. The ironic thing is that since our first World Series victory, which was in 1985, to 2014, we had no playoff appearances, and then in 2014, 2015, we ran the roulette and ended up going to the World Series. We lost one and we ended up winning one. Let's just start being more consistent and just make the playoffs. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if we just got into the playoffs and then we'd lose one? We didn't even make it to the World Series because we lost in the playoffs. We have never, ever said that. We haven't said that since roughly since the 70s, 76. And like I said, even in 85, you had 4 teams that made the playoffs. Now, the only exception was in 1981 because they had the strike, and we ended up playing like the A's, and then the A's stomped us, and then the Yankees stomped the A's, to go to the World Series and stuff like that. But at that time, there was only 4 teams. So the Royals made it in 76, 77, 78. They didn't make it in 79. The California Angels did that year. And then they made it back into the playoffs in 1980, went to the World Series, lost the World Series to Pete Rose and Tug McGraw, which is Tim McGraw's dad. And it was Steve Carlton. And then you had 81, 82, and then you had the 1982. I don't think they made the playoffs. Then you had 83. You had 84, and the Royals lost to the Detroit Tigers, who had Kirk Gibson, and they just kicked everybody's butt that year. And then they ended up stomping my Padres in the World Series, who had beaten the Cubbies, who were up 2-0. And at that time, you only had 5-game series instead of a 7-game series. So the Cubs were one game away from going to the World Series, and then the Padres came back and beat them, and they ended up going to the World Series with Tony Gwynn and Alan Wiggins, and I think even Gaylord Perry even pitched for that team. But then '85 they won. They beat Toronto, and then they won the World Series against St. Louis, and then they turned around and went playoff-less for 29 years, and then they finally made it. So let's just play good ball to where the point is we make the playoffs. There's not 4 teams that just make the playoffs. There are plenty of teams. There are 6 or 7 teams that make the playoffs each year. So let us be one of those 7 teams in the American League or one of the 14 teams. And here's the other thing. With them winning 31 games, there is a stat that based on the last 2 years, because the playoff system is only 2 years old, so this year will be the 3rd year. And if you win in those 2 years, the teams that won 30 games in their first 50 games, which there were 13 of them, 11 of those teams made the playoffs. One team won 82 games, and I believe one won 87 games, 86 or 87 games, and missed the playoffs. So saying that, so if that stat is true, the Royals will be in the playoffs. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to jinx it, but as long as they stay healthy, they will be great, and it will work. And you're going to have slumps, and the pitchers are not going to pitch great every game. They're going to have their hills, their ups and downs. But if we can just stay consistent, man, you're going to look at a great team for quite a while. And with that, we are at the end of Any Given Sunday on KUAW. Coach 24, my brother with another mother, Darwin Penny, who is here in spirit and not here in person. And then we have the producer, the man who runs the show, runs it very well. Even with the glitches, he still gets it, knocks it out. DJ Scatter, George Walker, and I am Brian Kress, the Awesome Voice. Be awesome, not angry, and you guys have yourself a phenomenal baseball weekend.